We have the best looking duo and the most handsome man in the league. We didn't really know this when
Wow.
we were putting the team together, but that we would have such a good looking team.
Well, good. If we're all set up then we can get started. We have some questions pre-submitted, and then we'll start taking some extra ones from chat.
All right.
What mode do you think will be our team's best this year? Someone wrote on Twitter.
With the people we have right now, I feel like we can make S&D our best mode for once, and that's pretty much what you need to win championships. Everybody can sneak a respawn, but if you're best S&D team, you're set.
Why'd you have to add the for once in there?
I always have somebody who eats glue on my team in S&D, so I had to add that in there.
Probably between that or Control. I feel like any team I've been on, or that me and Justin have been on in the past, is like our third game type has been really strong. So I think Control could be up there too.
The control part to our game, there's like a lot of strategy and just like cheesy things you can do in control. Plus, I think we have a team that like has a lot of like slaying ability. So I think control could be like one of our best. If not, search and destroy is probably going to be like up there with it.
Someone asked on Twitter, why are Justin and Adam the best looking duo in CDL history?
I'll
Hey,
take
no.
that.
No.
I'll take that, dude.
I'll take it too.
What does it take to play your current role? What do you have to do to play your role compared to, I don't know, the other guys on the team or like other people in the league? What makes your role unique?
In my opinion, being a flex is probably like the easiest role in the game. Entry sub definitely being the hardest, flex being the easiest. You pretty much get the best gun on every single map. You just have to know when to use what. And, you're good at flex. Know when to pull out your sub, know when to go, know when to pull out your AR, know when to slow down, and good to go.
Well, I have to you have to keep going in first, so people like Adam get the kills. Knowing when to keep pushing and when you should play your life is super important. Like when you're playing aggressive, when to stop playing aggressive.
Pretty much what Reese said. I think as a aggressive sub player, you do got to learn and kind of know when to slow down because you have the tendency of just like go, go, go. And it can really hurt you and your team, especially like performance-wise. So I would say that's one of the biggest things as an aggressive sub player, and you kind of learn, your timings, your positionings, and a lot of stuff as you play the game, and you continue to just learn more.
It's just knowing the power spots in the maps and just knowing your timings for players off spawn, just getting to your spot, posting up, and like picking up the kills you need to for your teams, allow them to flood. But also, I feel like there's other ARs that struggle with this too, but just knowing when it's your turn to slide in. Like a lot of ARs, they consistently sit there and they won't like go bait for their teammates, but as an AR, like there's some times when you have to go in first too. So just knowing a balance of when you have to hold and when you have to also push and bait for your team.
And I think it's like to Adam's point, I just think a lot of people kind of overdo it, or some people just don't do enough. Like, for example, a lot of ARs struggle with over challenging or not knowing when to go in. So I think just people knowing their role and just playing as a team and everyone doing their job and just being confident with each other.
What inspired you to make gaming your career? And tie that in with another question here, which is, what was your favorite COD of all time? So maybe talk about what inspired you, and then like I'm assuming that your favorite COD probably has something to do with how you were able to like get to where you are today or whatever.
I don't really think there's a specific moment. I kind of was just doing it for fun and just something competitive to do, since I was never like amazing at any sport. So it's like I was good at Call of Duty, so that's kind of like my backup to like a sport. But there wasn't any specific things like, wow, I could really just do this full time. It kind of just became that over time the more I played. I don't know. I think my love for COD just kind of came from I pretty much played every single Call of Duty, but Black Ops 1 is when I started playing competitive a bit, so probably like Black Ops 1's my favorite COD.
I heard about like people, competing and kind of playing for money back when I was a freshman in high school, and I kind of started on Halo, and I was trying to kind of go pro in that, but my parents wouldn't let me travel, and eventually I moved to Call of Duty for fun, like to play with friends from school, and I got pretty good at the game, and then I kind of fell in love with it, and I decided to, kind of go to the competitive route with Call of Duty instead of Halo. And Call of Duty 4 was basically the game I first started, and it's a game I absolutely loved. And I remember in summer, like I would play all day, trying to get 10 prestige and just pub stomp, and it was so fun to me. And yeah, I mean, that's basically kind of how I started trying to go pro, and going into MW2 was like towards the end was finally when I was like making it myself.
At the end of AW, I learned about like the S&D scene and like tournaments there. Then I played those until I was 18. Like I just grinded those until I was 18. And BO4, I decided to give Variant a shot. And in the first event, I placed well, and then I was like, I could actually do this, and then just kept placing better and better. And favorite game would be MW2.
MW2. Okay. Justin?
Obviously, I've been in the scene for like ever. The 3 running pros right now from my era is me, Clay, and Krim. I started playing in 2008. The first time I realized like you can actually make a living off this is probably during like Advanced Warfare. But I was definitely good enough to play at the highest level through all that time. It just didn't make a lot of sense financially if I put all my time into it. And if we're winning online tournaments, making a couple $100, and if you weren't like on a top 2, top 3 team, you weren't cashing out from actual events. So around AW, everything kind of blew up a little bit, and then I stuck to it, and here we are today.
I mean, first when I started playing like anything, I played Halo. Like my first ever tournament was in a Halo tournament, and then all my friends played like Call of Duty. So I would play like COD 4 GBs, World at War. Like World at War is like probably my most favorite game. Like I know Damon played it, and like there was really no scene back then for World at War. But like ever since like Black Ops 2, MW3, that's like when I kind of started like rising up, seeing like there's the scump, like the optic, like all that type of stuff. That's kind of like when I got into the scene. And then like MW3 is when I started like really grinding and like started playing competitive.
And what's your favorite COD of all time?
It's got to either between like Black Ops 2 or World at War. It's like
And Justin,
kinda,
you
like,
didn't say what
50-50.
yours was either. Missed that.
Mine is Black Ops 1 for sure.
I played COD 2. That was the first COD that I ever played, and I really liked COD 2. But COD 4 was when I got into competitive, just like even knowing that it existed. Like COD 4 Pro mod on the PC was like a really big thing, and I thought like that was the like antithesis of Call of Duty. But it turned out that the scene was on console instead, and then I started to get interested in that. But I took a huge break. I never watched COD or anything all through college, and I didn't even know that I wanted to be involved in Call of Duty until I was in my PhD. So I got lucky in that sense that there wasn't a lot of uncertainty. I didn't really even think about joining Call of Duty until I knew there was going to be a league. I was involved just recreationally. And so, yeah, for me, it wasn't as hard of a choice. I didn't have parents or responsibilities that I needed to like explain myself to. So it was a lot easier for me, I'd say. Like you guys are a lot more brave to make those sorts of decisions back when there's less prize money or whatever. But for me, it was, how do you think this new rivalry between the newly announced LA Thieves will go down? So, I mean, obviously last year we and the Optic LA team sort of had a bit of a rivalry because of being the only teams in the same area. Now there's a new LA team, and obviously a lot more notoriety around that team. How do you think that will play into the rivalry that we have this year?
Honestly, I'm excited to have like an actual rivalry. Them being like one of the biggest names in esports too. If we do absolutely smoke them at an event, I feel like it'll make it that much more pleasing for us. Definitely want to claim LA because I know you guys last year, I think you lost to Optic a couple times when you played them. So we definitely need to flip the script and regain control of our city.
Yeah, I think it's really great to have storylines like that it just like are instantaneously generated from the fact that the two teams are close in location, something that you don't normally get when you don't have geographic teams. I mean, that's obviously one of the big selling points for having location-based teams. And so I think it's cool to be a part of that where, yeah, if you're not one of the LA teams, you don't get that instant storyline. And so I think that'll be fun all year regardless. So what was it about joining the Guerrillas this year that got you excited over anything else? Like what was the ultimate decision to join the Guerrillas like?
Yeah, so the decision for me was pretty much no-brainer. Reese was obviously still here, and I thought he was a really good upcoming player. So I think me and Justin were looking at coming here as soon as the season's ended. And plus, we have experience with Embry being our coach, and like I know Rick because I've teamed with Rick in the past. So it just everything with everyone that was here just kind of made sense for us. So it was pretty obvious from the get-go that we wanted to come here.
I was excited for like coming together with these 3. I was talking, me, Adam, and Justin kind of talked during the MW season. Like out of all the pros, they're probably like 2 of the pros I talked to the most. So I was excited to play with them, and then I knew they had a lot of experience with that with World War II, so I knew they would have Ken with him and how good he can be.
I was really excited to be playing with, Adam and Justin again, of course Reese, just people who actually I feel like will give 110%, during practice or whatever it is. And I feel like sometimes it's hard to find that as crazy as that sounds. So I was just really excited to play with these guys. Other than skill, but the effort they put in the game is really important to me. Having good chem and being on the same page as a team and everyone like playing for each other. So I'm excited for this year.
I'm just, really happy to be here. In the first place, like when the league was announced, I thought LA was really like prime location for me. Almost my entire family lives over here. My parents are nearby. My fiance's nearby. The weather is awesome. Great organization, and it's pretty much just a no-brainer across the board.
What are your thoughts on going to PC and controller this year?
I think just how like amazing the game feels and how like smooth it feels. Like I remember when I first switched to Warzone PC because we're in off season, and I was like, I'm never ever going back. It was actually incredible the difference it made, and it's just like the FPS, obviously the hertz, like everything is just like a no-brainer. The performance is insane.
I'm really excited to, not have the same lobby issues that we have, like people lagging out, not being able to pause the game, and obviously like having good frames for once is definitely a huge plus. I think pretty much every pro COD player wanted to be controller PC before this, so I'm glad we're finally like at this point and don't have to deal with playing on the PS4 anymore, because that was tough, real tough.
I don't know if it's just me that I feel this way, but playing with a controller on PC, I don't know if it's the FOV or whatnot, but the game just feels more enjoyable. Like it's just so smooth
100%.
and it's more fun.
I think one of you touched on it a little, is just like the accessibility this year. Like, I mean, last year playing in LA on PS4s was like just damn near impossible. Like, I mean, the connection was just so bad trying to get out of LA, and like, yeah, I mean, it made it so that we had to move out of LA just to be able to play our games, and like being able to, truly have everybody together and play in the same area, or like play, I don't know, cross-country scrims and stuff without having to worry about connection as much will be huge. I mean, some of the practice that we were getting last year just instantly takes a hit because of the connection problems with the PlayStation. So, and that'll be really exciting just for the level of play this year. So this is sort of the last question. Who do you think will be the best imposter in Among Us?
I used to be really good at Among Us when I played a lot. I haven't practiced my lying in a few weeks now, so yeah, I don't know. Justin's been playing a lot, but I know Justin so well. I'm gonna catch his lies every time, so I'm kind of interested to see how App does. I don't think he's played it.
I haven't
This guy's
played
gonna be
one game.
laughing, bro.
I haven't played one game. I don't know. I'm gonna get smoked.
Yeah, I know Reese has been playing, but like I've seen his lobbies he's playing in. I was like, I don't know, dude. Like, he could definitely be good. Adam could be good. I think Brian's just gonna be laughing. I guess we'll see.
I think that's all the questions we have. So unless anybody has anything else, I think we're probably gonna wrap things up. Yeah, thanks everybody for taking the time, and thanks everybody in the chat for the questions and the memes and everything else. It's definitely been fun.
That was a pleasure.
Yep, I had a
Thank
good
you,
time,
guys.
guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Someone asked on Twitter, why are Justin and Adam the best looking duo in CDL history?
I'll
Dang,
take
I don't
that.
know.
I'll take that, dude.
I'll take it too. Wait, hang on.
Just
Once I get
naturally.
Cena again, bro, it's over. No one's matching us.
Once I get jacked again, it's over.